Hello, in this lesson we're going to look at images and orientation of the images as well, and or obviously orientation of the phone itself. I'll start off by putting on an image box here, so an image control on my left, and I'll just pop that on the screen there. Now you'll notice there when I pop on the image one here, again it's the default over here is asking me to name it. Okay, so rather than call it image 1, I'm just going to call it image or IMG. IMG, okay, that'll just do it. And for the source of that image, I'll just click on the ellipsis here to the right, and if the mouse over text is saying choose an image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose an image. Sorry, these are the ones I'll play right after. I'll take one from what we're using there before. Actually, if you go down to our Android folder. Okay, so I'm in the Android folder here, and I'll just take a picture of Pele there. Okay, and you can see there it adds it to the system. So I'm going to take that, and you can see there, if we look at the path takes is the again IMG, the control component / images, the images folder. So I have two applications, and it's Pele.jpg. So I just have a data bound one there. I'll just take that out of there. So you're just showing my solutions folder there. So I just had two projects running in one. Okay, so there's my images folder, and there's a picture of Pele. Now you'll notice here as you can change the orientation around like so, but there are a few properties we can change inside of this as well. The first property I'm going to look at, again clicking on the image, if I come down here to the stretch just underneath source, and you can see there it's filled, so it's going to fill the actual container that we created. You can see here we have uniform and uniform to fill, so if I click on uniform, it brings in the picture exactly, and notice the way the again the side or that, so again it will only obey one side, but it will keep the actual photo exactly as it should be in the orientation it should be. Okay, and the size, I'll just bring that up there like that. Okay, notice again as I click on the picture, and if I take stretch and uniform to fill, it will fill, okay, exactly the point. Okay, now even if I bring this down, okay, or move to the side or whatever, notice the way the picture will not skew inside the actual control itself. So actually uniform to fill is quite a good one, or just uniform, whatever you like on that one. Okay, but again, like that, you can do various definitions, okay, on the actual picture itself. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to, as we were talking about here, is the alignment and stuff like that. So let's talk about alignment here. If I were to run this application, okay, so here's the actual application running. If I come over here and actually click the orientation of the actual phone itself, notice the way the phone, even though it's turned, hasn't turned the actual text and image itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put that back. Okay, and there is a setting we can just use on our properties that will actually do that. We'll just do that now. Okay, and that setting is on the phone application here. Okay, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click off the application. So the actual properties contains phone application. And if you come down, what I'm looking for is system orientation down here, so under this. Okay, so our supported orientations, and you can see there by default it's at portrait. Okay, if I pull that down, you can see the default be landscape, or else portrait or landscape. So select portrait or landscape. Okay, and then just run the application again. Okay, run that. Okay, so here it is running, and now if I just mouse over here and click the orientation to the landscape, notice the way it changes. So the actual text up here, images, and the picture of Pele is now taking a spot there. Okay, so again, if the phone then turns back up, okay, we can see everything rotates the way it should. Okay, so let's look at how backgrounds operate here as well. Okay, I'm going to take that picture of Pele there, and I'll just take it off for a second. Okay, I'll delete that one off. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the main application itself, or the main grid. Now again, if I want to get the main grid here, if I click on that, there's two ways I can get it here. If I go to XAML here, okay, and just look at the grid layout, you can see here it's the layout of the route. Okay, so this one here, if I just click in there, you can see that the grid. Okay, if I come back here, you can see there I've selected the whole grid. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an image into the background. Okay, so we saw this before. Again, there's my background, and again I pulled that down. First of all, I could select a color. Remember, I'll just pin this here. Just move this up so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so there's again, we could select a background here. So let's say I take red and then just move up my alpha. You can see there the way the whole thing will go red. Okay, or purple, deep purple, say. The band. Okay, yeah, there we've got a nice purple there. Okay, for all the purple fans. Okay, and although I could also select an image, so I click on images. Okay, select image. Again, the images I brought in, I'm going to bring in another image here. This time, I'll go down to my F drive, Android, images, and again we used this one before, this background image. Actually, I'll use this one of the Dublin image here. I'll take that in and we'll use that. Okay, so there we have an image of Dublin. Okay, or well, actually Dublin is the convention centre there. So notice there with the when you do decide, or if you do decide to use an image, okay, watch out for the text that could go on that or behind that image. Okay, so again, if I run that, just to show you how it looks. Okay, so that looks fairly well, but how does it look when we turn it on its side? Okay, so again, you can see there, it's a bit skewed. So we might have to either take that that image and do a little bit with it, or choose another image which could fit that. But what I could do is I could change the properties of the image. Let me try that now. Okay, I'll just stop debugging there. Okay, here, so back at the application. First I need to select the grid, the main grid there. So I'm going to click on the outer grid here. Again, so I have grid layout route is what I want here, just so make sure you can see layout route. Okay, and there's my background. Okay, and you can see there it's the stretch is filled, so if I fill to uniform, okay, or uniform to fill, let's try that. Okay, now notice it's after making a slight change here in the layout. I don't have that backlight, so let's just have a quick look at that in the emulator. Okay, so I'll run it there. Okay, so there we are. Now it doesn't look it looks doesn't look as well as it did, but it still looks okay. And if I just turn it on its side now, you can see that's much better. Okay, so I can see right across. Again, I could even make this a little bit better again, so it fills in everything I want. Okay, the next thing we need to do, okay, or we could look at here, is the text on images. Okay, so let's on a background image. When you are using a background image, you have to be very careful of putting a text box on and the type of text that you choose. Okay, so let's say I take a text block here. Okay, so text block. Okay, and I put this text block, just say here at the top. Okay, and I say that was a text box. Sorry, I won't do that. My mistake. I wanted a text block. Okay, text block. Okay, now text block is transparent. Okay, but I've white text now. That's working on the blue background. Okay, but the what I'm going to do is just this the background of this text block. I'm just going to change the just a little bit. I'm gonna just move this down here. Okay, like that. Okay, and notice there when text block is on the light of in the reflection in the river, we can't make out the last few words here. Okay, yeah, the last few letters, should I say? Okay, so therefore we can actually put in maybe a rectangle or some color behind it to shade it. Okay, which will work as well. So again, if I took over here, if I took a rectangle, so let's say I make a rectangle over here, shapes, shapes. Okay, a rectangle. Okay, draw the rectangle here. Okay, so a text block and a rectangle. I'm just going to move the text block and the rectangle over each other like that. Okay, now I can check to see which one. So I have text block 1 and the rectangle there. If I just go into the XAML page, okay, you can see it there. There's the text block and there's the rectangle. Okay, I'm just going to unpin this and just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. Okay. Now again, if you notice here, the whatever C# or XAML here is reading down the page, so therefore this text block is behind the rectangle. So I'm just going to cut this rectangle here, cut, okay, and put that behind the text block. Okay, and I'm just going to make some slight changes here. You can see the height is 217. Just make them both exactly the same, so the height is 217. Make the margins the same as well. I'm just going to have that as 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm going to say 30 and 30 there. 30 and 30. Okay, so this will make them exactly the same size. Okay, and again you can see the width there, 393. I'll just make this 393 as well. 393. Okay, so again they're both exactly the same. So we'll come back to the design view. You can see there they're both exactly the same. So again, I could whatever one I want to work with. Okay, I can either do it here or do it in the XAML code. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rectangle here and take the background. Okay, of the rectangle. Okay. And you can see it here is fill. Okay, and I'm just going to say give it a yellow color here. Yellow. Okay. And I'm going to take down the transparency. Okay, so like that, this might work. Okay, like so. Okay, I just want to make the margin a bit better there. Okay, so this has an actual background color. So let's just go back into the XAML here for a second. Just check my okay, 217, 217. Okay, make this 20, 20, 30. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is notice if I turn this on its side, they're both going to be exactly the same width, so it won't stretch across the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the width altogether here, just delete it. Okay, the width altogether. So then when I turn it on its side, it will take the full width of it. Okay, so let's go back to design now. Sorry, just fill there, run this. Here, I think I just deleted out fill, but not to worry. Okay, so let this load up. And I just may need to set the width to auto here on this. Okay, so you can see there text block. Maybe up here it didn't mean too much, but down here it did. This is where the color is behind the text block itself. And again, if we switch down, we can see there that it will change to that. All we just need to do now is set the width to auto, and we can have something there. Okay, that's working with images on your mobile app. Okay, and we'll do a little bit more on that as we go along. Okay, thank you for your attention.